early and we're just getting ready to take ourselves into the lock at Keadby, ready to go out onto the Trent today. We shouldn't have any issues getting grounded this time because the tide's a bit higher than it has been for a while. But last night, the boats coming in, there was quite a few of them, and one of them got himself into a real patch of trouble out on the sandbank there. He couldn't get in with the other people, and the tide had dropped so much that he had no chance of getting in until it came back in again. So the lockkeeper couldn't go home. She was worried about him out there because there are some small Aegeas running at the moment, and she said she couldn't go to bed and worry about him being stuck out there all night. So he finally got in last night at about 8 o'clock, and I took a short film of it. No, it's Sunday evening and we're all locked up at the Keadby facilities. We're all due to go out at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we came to watch tonight's flotilla come in, and there was lots of boats, and unfortunately this one got left behind and he's grounded over there, and he's now been out there for several hours. And the lockkeeper, she's great. She was due off at 4:30. She's still here now, and it is 7:15. She just wants to see him safely in. So they've got to wait for the tide to turn. Still flowing out at the moment. The thing is that there's possibly an Aegea coming up here tonight and tomorrow morning, so she can't really just leave him out there. So until the tide turns, he's stuck over there. So it's looking like it's going to be another, I'm not sure, I mean it's slowing down. It's going to be another half hour to an hour at least, I think. Oh, he's off. Oh no! Oh, he must be swearing. Go on, crank it. The tide had turned in an instant, and it was pulling the front of his boat back down the river, so he had to really motor to get around that. I didn't realise that the tide would turn so quickly. I thought there'd be a period of time where it was stable, but it doesn't work like that. Oh, he's doing it. He's a... Did they dredge it here a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? So he hasn't got to slide in over the mud then? Oh! Wow, that was a near miss. I've got Jane's phone number on the boat in front of us, and she's got mine. Okay, good to go. Just about to start. The weather, well, the heat wave breaks today. It's nice and warm still, but not hot. But we are going into thunderstorms. I have no idea what it's like to be on a narrowboat in a thunderstorm. I guess I shall find out. And we're off. The lockkeeper has turned up late, which means that we're going to have to really crank it so that we don't meet the turning tide coming back down. But at least he's here. moving out there, isn't there?
That's why I think we
Right, looking at the chart.
Thanks. You go down here a little way, but keep well in from that bank. Keep well in from that bank.
And this was some footage that was taken from on top of the lock wall. It's in portrait, unfortunately, but it gives you an idea of what it's like to come out of these lock gates and how the river immediately catches the boat and sends it sideways down through the flow. Well, we're about halfway through our journey. I've done my first hour and Henry's on the tiller arm now. And it's a very different ride from when we came up. There's a lot more water, and in some places where the river narrows, it's really choppy. We're going sideways half the time going down, so as you're coming around a curve to the left, the back of the boat is always out that way and the front's always out that way, and you're sliding around it sideways. It's just the way the wind catches it and the current. But all is fine so far, and we're making good time, I think. Really hard on the tiller arm, your shoulder aches after an hour on there. But yeah, it was a bit scary coming out of Keedby Lock. The water was all over the place, but it soon settled down. So I think we've probably made up for our lost time where the lock keepers were late this morning, because it seems to me that we've been cranking down here quite fast. I'm not sure how fast we're going, but I'll show you how fast the river's going. There's quite a lot of debris floating around here as well, so you have to keep an eye out for that too. Some boaters, some weeks past, had a dead cow float past them. Thank God we haven't seen anything like that. Whole forests of debris floating up here. You need to keep your rudder and your prop out of this lot. I wonder what's in that bag. Ugh. Next morning, and we're leaving Torksey Lock for the last run down to Cromwell on the tidal bit. After that, it's all non-tidal. See ya, bye!
you go left, and then you kind of you go over to the left centre.
Okay.
And not very long. There's a very tight curve.
Okay. The rubbish from yesterday is following us up. We saw this bag go floating past us last night and then back again, and now it's coming back up the river. It's probably been on here for years. That life buoy is going to be a difficult throw if anyone gets into trouble. That's a warning for a sunken island, which is on our left, so we have to hug this curve on the right. And the island is hidden, as a sunken island would be, under that water there.
It's a hidden sunken island.
A hidden sunken island it is. Over there is a seal. I didn't expect to see a seal up the river. I don't know if you can see it. Try and come in a bit. And there's Cromwell Lock and the big weir next to it, which is actually quite slow flowing today. It turns out we were on one of the highest tides so far this year, and we were riding the top of it all the way up, which is why we were getting an average of 8 miles per hour, double our normal top speed. Something interesting going on in the middle of the river. Not quite sure what side we should go around on this, but it looks like Phil in front has chosen the left, so we'll probably follow him. I wonder what it is. Turns out they're dredging in the middle. The whole lot is attached together, and they're sort of floating around like a funny little island in the river. Raining! Needs to rain for about a month now. And we arrive in Newark dramatically in a thunderstorm, and there's only one mooring left. I can't think why. That's empty. Oh, wait. Well, here we are in Newark. We've moved up after the torrential thunderstorm, and we've been here for a couple of days, and it's been a very pleasant stay. As you can see behind me, we have some very grand neighbours, and this castle was the one where King John died, he of Robin Hood infamy, and he died of dysentery, probably with poisoned peaches, so the legend goes. And yesterday afternoon we went inside to take a look at it. This is the other side of the castle, and normally you'd be able to go up through part of it, but at the moment they've got stonemasons here who are stabilising it. You can see over there's a lot of rubble on the floor. That's a shame, because just through that window over there is our boat, and it would be nice to look out there down on it, but that's all we can see at the moment. Bit of repointing going on. During the Civil War, it was a royalist stronghold, and after 3 battles it was lost to the parliamentarians, who then blew it up. After that, the locals took most of the facing stones. It was a thing that happened then. Whenever a castle went out of use, all the locals would go and get the stones they could from it for their own building. So ruins are quite often demolished by local residents. Well, it seems so. And it was restored later on, and it's now a Grade 1 listed building, which is why they've got all the stonemasons working on it at the moment. So it will be like this in its present form for the foreseeable future, and it does make Newark, it's a really lovely backdrop to the town. Mooring on a river rather than a canal means you get very different traffic coming along. Very interesting. There's as many different sorts of boats as there are narrowboats. Dutch barges. I don't know what this is. It looks like a sort of fishing boat. Wide beams and party boats. That has squeezed through that bridge with an inch to spare either side. I think it must be the dredger we saw down there the other day. Well, at the crack of 7, the dredgers that were down the river the other day have come up and started work just in front of our boat. And we thought we were going to have to move, but they said we would be all right here for the time being. But it's really making the boat rock around. So it's all silted up coming out of this lock and down past the castle towards the bridge. So they've come up to get all the crap out of the water, as he said. So it's quite fun watching them work. Now, is he going to get under that bridge? That's what everyone wonders. Oh my God. No, it is too tall, isn't it? Oh no! The poor chap misjudged it and ripped something off the top of the boat as he went under, which made a terrible noise. I wonder why. Yeah, yeah. Ironically, the dredger, well, the barge with the silt in has got itself grounded, and now they're having to remove the gravel and silt from out of it so that they can lighten the load and get it moved down a bit. So a fair bit of the stuff they've taken out has just gone back in again. And so we take our leave of Newark after lots of fun and lots of entertainment on the river. There's a huge amount of duckweed been coming down since it rained the other day. This loch is lime green with it. Quite pretty. And as we leave Newark Lock, I'll say bye for now and see you on the next video. Do subscribe if you can, and see you next time. Bye for now.